Welcome to Dodgers Daily. Glad you tuned in, and we have a very special guest today, right-handed pitcher in the Dodgers organization, a friend of Dodgers Daily for a long time now, Gus Varland. Gus, hey, it is great to talk to you again and welcome in the offseason.
Thank you for having me, Casey.
Okay, first of all, last time I talked to you, well, not the last time, but 2 times ago, it was really cool. I got to talk to you in Tulsa, and your brother Louie was in town earlier that year in 2022. You and him actually got to face off in Wichita, both starting pitchers at the time. So got to ask you, I know you loved your time in Concordia, St. Paul, Lunch McKenzie back there, your family in Maplewood. Louie is a major leaguer. So how's Louie? How's everybody doing?
We're all doing great. My parents are proud as hell. I'm excited for this next season. And Louie's doing great. He's got a chance to earn a starting spot this spring. And if that doesn't happen, he's got a job out of the pen. So life's great for him too.
You mentioned a job out of the pen. That's something that happened to you. I actually was there, got to see you the first couple of days after they moved to you. It's always a different deal because you're not exactly sure where they're coming from. It's proved to be pretty good for you because you made your major league debut last year. So has he picked your brain on any of that, how that transition went for you?
A little bit, just kind of how to handle it and how to prep, because it is a big adjustment with especially the time you need. But then he slowly realized you really don't need 25, 30 pitches to warm up. You need about 8 because you get 8 more out there. So he adjusted quick and he didn't really need me at all. I just gave him what I knew from it and what I learned. So
you've always been a guy that's had a really big-time bulldog attitude. You just really take the mound and come right at guys. You have a lot of adrenaline when you pitch. You get really excited. So did you find that the later innings really worked towards that adrenaline and helped you that way?
I think so, but I mean, every inning to me is like the 9th inning. Whether it's 7-0 or we're down by 10, it doesn't matter to me. I treat it all like the 9th inning, and I think and now it's like the next step is trying to harness that energy and really focus in as you move up levels and whatnot.
Talking about that transition, last year was huge for you. You got picked up in the Rule 5. Milwaukee picked you up. You made your major league debut for them. You were just absolutely lights out. Then you got hurt. You came back off the injury, had one outing that kind of went sideways on you, then came back to Los Angeles, and then made some more adjustments from there. So last year, that had to have been just kind of a real whirlwind. Cool, you made your major league debut, a lot of adjustments, major league debut actually for 2 different teams. So talk about that whole season.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind to say the least. Going into the Rule 5 last year, I had no expectations at all. I had hope, but I did not think I was going to get picked up because I only pitched well in Double-A for about 4 months, so I didn't think I had enough equity built up for that. And then getting selected was just unbelievable. And making the team is a whole other thing, because going from Double-A into spring training, and I got to make this team, otherwise I'm going back, it was kind of a one-shot kind of deal. So making the team, my dreams came true all in one day. It was unbelievable. I had a really good spring, made some adjustments there about staying more directional to the plate and less rotational. And it helps me gives me more room for error. And that's the adjustment I made that spring. And like you said, I was doing good with Milwaukee, and then I took that liner out the face. And then a lot of people don't know this, so then I went to rehab after I did the 2-week stint. My second pitch in rehab, I got hit again. Like another
I did not know that.
Yeah, in the left hand. So now I'm all kind of shaken up. But, I mean, I don't like making excuses or whatnot, but it certainly doesn't help. And then come back, and obviously that outing went sideways and whatnot, but it's just one of those weird ones. Like, you just got to wear it, and if you don't like it, pitch better at the end of the day. Yeah, so then going back to AAA, I was definitely a little shaken up still. Like, it's tough. It's a lot harder to get over than people think, because now every pitch and every swing that you see, you're kind of flinching a little bit. But I got over that and made some more adjustments with the Dodgers and whatnot, and I got lucky with the spot opening up and right time, right place.
You mentioned that when you got back to the Dodgers, you went back to kind of your traditional pitch mix and the way that you pitched when you were with the Dodgers the first time. So did you make some adjustments when you got back to the Dodgers?
Yeah, a little bit. I was a little too tight and compact with my delivery, and you know me with my kind of a bigger leg kick and whatnot. It's still quick, but I went back to what I was doing with the Dodgers, and that really just made me a lot more comfortable and a lot easier to get over the mental side of getting hit in the face twice, or only once, but getting 2 comebackers. So that really helped. And overall, just getting more confident, because I knew I had the stuff, so now it's just getting the confidence and the conviction, and at the end of the day, the execution. So once that all kind of came together, I felt very clean.
So take us through when you first stepped on a major league mound, what that was like for you, and the first out that you made, and then the first time that you realized, okay, my first outing in the major leagues is over. Take us through all those moments.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I barely remember it because it's everything so new. And debuting at Wrigley Field, that alone is unbelievable. Like, I don't know, I think of that as like baseball mecca, like that.
Yeah.
Fenway, New York, LA. And debuting there on opening day, it was packed and loud, and the bullpen is underneath the stands, so it's really quiet. So a couple times during the game, I'd come out and just kind of feel the crowd and whatnot to get used to it. And I don't know, going out there I didn't really. It was kind of out of body. You just do what you are trained to do, and you don't really think about it. And after I didn't really think about my outing at all until I got into the dugout. And then I looked around and was like, wow, I just made my major league debut. It's something. It made me like remember it more and appreciate it to its fullest.
I'm sure you called Mom. I'm sure Gus was on the phone, Louis was on the phone with you, three-waying with everybody. Lunch, McKenzie, your coach back there at Concordia, I'm sure you called him too. Talk about some of those conversations you had. I'm sure those were really fun.
Yeah, it was so special. Just especially like just telling them, hey, I made the team, because they're anticipating the whole time in spring training, and it was just really cool to like call them. I called them each individually, my parents together, but everyone else individually, and to have that moment with them was really special and really cool.
It's really cool getting to watch minor leaguers like you because, you came over from the A's, got traded. You got introduced to the business side of things. Your good buddy, Ryan Pepio, just got traded as well. Then you got moved to the pen. So you really had to learn the business side really early. And there's times where you're sitting there in Double-A and it's July and you're like, man, am I ever going to make it to the major leagues? Then you finally do, right? I mean, it's such a payoff, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's you don't really know what's going on. You just got to trust the process and do what you are supposed to do and control what you can control. As soon as you start thinking about, oh, why am I not getting moved up or not getting my chance, like it's going to come if you're good enough. And at the end of the day, you just got to execute pitches, and that's all you can do.
Talk about Pep, man. Super excited for the chance that both him and Johnny are going to get with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, my best friend on the Dodgers left, and then my roommate, I was going to room with Johnny this spring, and they both left in one trade. So it's a little bittersweet. I'm really happy for them. They're going to get a great opportunity there. Hopefully a lot more playing time and whatnot. And I like to see him. I hate to see him leave, but I like the opportunity they're getting.
Now I know that your main deal when you're off the baseball field, you love to fish, right? I mean, fishing is your deal.
Yeah.
When you have time, of course, you're so busy, you don't have a whole lot of free time now. But talking about Pep being your best friend, he's a big time golfer. Did he get you on the golf course? And DeLuca, you were going to room with him. Did he get you out to the beach on a surfboard?
No, he didn't get me out to the beaches. And Pep, we only golfed once in spring training. Other than that, especially like going up and down from AAA to the big leagues, like you don't really have time for much. And also the PCL travel is in and itself is a whole thing. Like you don't really have off days because you're traveling that day, and it's always a connecting flight. So I never really got a chance to go fishing or surfing or golfing really. So I did a lot of that this fall, and pretty much that was it.
Pretty special when you finally made it to L.A. You no longer had connected flights, right? It was a direct flight to L.A. That was probably a lot better, wasn't it?
Oh, it was awesome. It was so cool. Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned Wrigley Field. Of course, you're from Minnesota, so that area of the world, going back to Milwaukee like you did, it was like a dream come true for you because that's the area of the world you're from, right? Okay, so pitching at Wrigley Field for your debut, dream come true. Nerves at all? Were you nervous at all?
I was pretty nervous, especially leading up. But once you start warming up, and then you make that's a long jog out there because it's you're just so built up and ready. And then as soon as you start throwing your warm up pitches, you're like, okay, no problem. And it's just like old times. And the crowd kind of like drowns out because you're so focused on just making pitches and whatnot. So I wouldn't say it was more nerves beforehand than during.
Awesome deal. Did you take the subway or they actually, I think they call it the L train there in Chicago after the game?
No. The whole family drove down and whatnot, and went out to dinner with them afterwards and talked about it, and it was really cool.
That is really cool, Gus. Really cool. Okay, got to ask you. I get to see a lot of it. Of course, you get to play with all the other talent in the organization. There is so much right-handed pitching talent. Of course, you used to be a starting pitcher. John Rooney and Alec Gamboa are left-handed, but they both used to be starting pitchers. All moved to the pen. There's so much depth right-handed pitching-wise. How do you guys feed off of each other? Is that something that is kind of intimidating at times, or is it exciting, or do you guys feed off of each other? How does that work?
I don't really think about it as like intimidating because I mean, like we just saw, people can get traded left and right on a dime. So it's not so much, you don't view it as like competition or anything. You just try to build each other up and give them hints when you think you can help them and whatnot. And it goes around that the whole pen. Everybody's got a little tidbit for you if they see something. So it's nothing but good friendship and whatnot. And yeah, just a great group of guys. I think we feed off of it more than anything.
I got to say, last year you were throwing your fastball at about 98. I know you like to have the ride to it. You don't like to have the movement to the fastball. Then your slider had almost 40 inches of vertical movement. I told people for at least 2 months before you actually got the call up, guys, watch out for Gus Varland. This is as good as he's always been. He has never looked better than he has in the last month or two. Man, when you were releasing them, when you finally did get called up to LA, that was the best I think you had ever pitched at the professional level. Would I be correct there?
Yeah, everything was working. I just felt very in sync with my mechanics, and I didn't worry about mechanics or how I gripped the ball. It was strictly execution and sequencing at that point. And that's a good feeling to have.
Going to the offseason, of course, you had the injury towards last year. What is your offseason routine like? What adjustments are you making in the offseason? Tell us where you're at, what your routine is, and the goal for the offseason for Gus Varland.
Yeah. After the injury, just rehabbing that, I ended up living in Chicago with my girlfriend and rehabbing here at Ted Kurlinkis's place. He's been great, got me ready. I actually just got cleared a month ago from the knee, so it's like progresses normal and whatnot, and it's been going great. I don't really have too many adjustments rather than just consistency. That's the name of the game at this point, because you go up there and you have a little success. Like I know my stuff's good enough, but the separator is just consistency. So now it's just learning what I can do to be the most repeatable on the mound. And those are my goals for this offseason too.
I know how confident you are. Mentioned that you pitched like a bulldog on the mound, no doubt about it. But was there a specific moment that you can remember where you went, oh yeah, my stuff is good enough to get outs at the major league level? Did you have that moment where you realized you were good enough to be there?
For me, like the hurdle for that is like when you truly believe that you belong there was against Milwaukee when that Dodger debut. That would to me was the big one, especially because the pressure for that game was just crazy because you got both teams looking at you and they both know you, and they both want you to do good, and like the names that I faced in that 2 inning stint was just unbelievable. And once I got those guys out, like it was like, all right, I can do this now. Now it's just consistent and execution at this point.
Awesome deal. Okay, so you got to pitch at the AAA level, and one of the cool things about the minor leagues is they try new rules before they get to the major leagues. Last year they had both the robo-ump and the challenge system. It was the robo-ump on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, challenge system on the weekend, or vice versa. I can't remember the exact rotation that they went with that. So you got to pitch with both. Do you have a preference for either one?
I like the challenge system because I like the human aspect of the umpire back there, but they're human too, just like I said, and they make mistakes. So I like the challenge system to kind of keep everyone in check and whatnot. I don't like the robo too much because you can barely clip the bottom on a spike slider and it's a strikeout. And to me, I think it's I didn't like it too much, but I do like the challenge system, and I think that I would like that to see that implemented at the big league level.
Yeah, and it's exciting too because people don't realize that it doesn't come from the bench. It has to come immediately from either the hitter, the pitcher, or the catcher, and then it goes up on the board, so it has to go by feel, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. And I mean, who knows the strike zone best than a catcher?
Yeah.
And I trust them full hearted. Like I don't challenge at all. I'll let them do it for me because they know.
Yeah, Fetty's really good at that. Freitas and then Mazika, they were all good at that. So, okay, man, major league debut last year. You played with two different teams. Whirlwind, you got some great experience, super exciting. Expectations for 2024?
Expectations is just be the best I can be and can control what I can control. Whether I get called up or in AAA, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to keep going out there and have that bulldog mentality and doing what I do.
How are you so level-headed but then such kick-ass whenever you take them out? You're so level-headed off the field, then when you get on the field, it just everything is just kick-ass, man. How do you get that balance? That's really cool, Gus.
For me, it's like because I've been caught up in the little things where it's out of your control and whatnot. So I don't know, why pay attention to things that are out of your control when you can just do what you do?
Very good. What is the most nervous or excited that you have ever been on the mound in baseball?
I don't know. It's more so excited than anything. It was the Dodger debut against the Brewers. That was the most excited I've ever been.
If you could go back in time, what advice would you give your past self back in high school, college, or whenever you first came into the pro ranks?
I'd tell him two things about like my mechanics now and like how to get the most out of your throw. And then also, like I've been saying this whole interview, is just control what you can control. The outside factors just don't matter.
Of course, you mentioned all the travel, that we have the connecting flights in AAA, the direct flights at the major league level. What's the first thing you pack in your suitcase every time you go on a road trip?
Yeah, probably my video game stuff. Always got to have that.
What's your go-to video game?
Call of Duty or Rocket League right now. Yeah, but it's a way I stay in touch with my friends and Louie. Like after the game and whatnot, we'll catch up there.
I have a son that's exactly your age, and I know all about those games. I couldn't play him worth the crap. You know, when they turned 12, I could beat him really bad till he's about 11 or 12. Then after he turned 12, it was over. He just kicked my ass every time we played.
Yeah, you got too much practice in.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Okay, if I spoke to Lunch, your coach back at Concordia St. Paul, your high school coach, any of your professional coaches, Henny or Travis, any of them you played for, what's one thing that they would all say about Gus Varland?
I support my teammates 100%. Yep, through thick and thin.
That is awesome. Okay, what is the craziest thing that has happened to you lately?
Oh, man. I don't know. I found a really good fried chicken shop here in Chicago, GG's Chicken. I haven't had anything too crazy this offseason, so it's been pretty good. I like it.
What is your biggest superstition, if you have any?
Man. I guess I wear the same pair of socks throughout the whole year, but I wash them, but they're the same pair. Yeah. Until I get a hole in them.
Let's make it really clear. You do wash your socks, although you wear the same pair.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Hey, anything else? Major League debut last year, whirlwind. I'm sure there's a million people to thank, Gus. This is your time to just kind of look back and just thank all the people that have helped you get to where you're at.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone, my friends, family, girlfriend, everyone who's ever supported me throughout the whole journey. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but through it all, I ended up making it. I couldn't believe it either, but you can do it.
Gus, got to say, man, I've seen you ever since you came over from Oakland, and I just wanted to say on air, super proud of you, brother. Super proud of you, man. I've seen your grind, and so impressed and super proud.
Thank you, Casey. I really appreciate it.